You know, Whitetail Habitat Solutions, it's whitetail habitat, and a lot of people make the assumption that this channel is only about habitat. And it's interesting, we have people that come here just for habitat and hunting, and then we have people that come here just for hunting. You know, this all goes back to my hunting base, my hunting roots. I love to hunt, and I've been hunting a lot since the late 80s. In fact, every career option I've ever had, I asked myself, okay, if I work here, can I get time off for hunting? You know, I worked at a bank for 8.5 years as a branch manager of a bank, and loan officer, sold mutual funds, annuities, all that kind of stuff, and different branches, kind of worked my way up. And what I really liked about that is, not always, but in the branches there were a lot of women. And you know, even on the channel here, I think we have about 10% women viewers, somewhere on there, but it just happened that at the bank, the women that were there didn't hunt. And so it made it pretty easy when I went into the bank to try to request time off. And I know that's changing. We have a lot more women hunters, which is awesome. Jen hunts. You know, I love hunting with Jen. She's my best hunting buddy. But the bottom line is, at that time, I could get a lot of time off. And that allowed me to go out and hunt, get half days off when I wanted to. So every career choice along the way, hunting, hunting, hunting. Everything, when I decided, you know, okay, if I want to go away for a weekend and hunt, and I had a young family, I knew I couldn't go away for a week. So I went for 3 days at a time, 2 days at a time. I had the flexibility with us being self-employed at that time as a real estate appraiser, that I could get 2 days off to hunt, 3 days off to hunt, and only hunt the best weather, because I wanted to kill my target bucks. So it wasn't about, I want to go away for a week and spend a week on rutcation with my buddies and hang out. I purely wanted to go, when I went hunting, I wanted a great chance of killing a buck, and that's why it boiled down to weather and making sure I took the time off and worked that between family, really busy career. And it's still true to this day, even though I'm in the hunting industry. I love hunting. And so this channel is all about hunting, and I want to offer hunting advice. And so that's what all we do. And Dylan probably knows this. You know, the habitat stuff's one thing, but if I can get out in the woods, I like being out in the woods to shoot these videos. Sometimes it's better for the whiteboard when we're making lists, but I like being outside. This happens to be it's 60 degrees today, beautiful breeze. There's cloud cover. I can wear a sweatshirt. Sweatshirt weather is perfect for me. So when it comes to hunting, I want to offer good hunting advice. This approach right here, and we talk about access to our stands all the time, the importance of, while we're hunting, doing things right so we're not spooking deer. This access is premium. It comes from below down here, down in this ravine. We access through a switchgrass field back there that is typically devoid of deer. It's right next to the ag field. And deer, like I talk about all the time, don't like bedding in just pure grass. And so that's a good thing, because we use as a blocker to access. We come through the switch, through the woods right here, and there's a giant brush pile right here. And what's nice is, when I'm coming in here, this brush pile blocks the view, obviously, of out here and what's in front of me. Now, I don't normally like hunting on a food source in the morning. So I'm looking at this as a morning approach right here, and I'm coming into this spot right in this location. So when I'm coming into the spot in the morning, you know, everything would have to be right, perfect. This is just a little hunting plot, but it's connected to a big plot. Is there a giant buck moving right through here? Is this more of a staging area in the morning when they're coming off the ag fields? It could be. Likely not a spot that I'm going to hunt in the morning. But if everything goes right, I clear out these sticks right here, which we usually do. I walk through here very slowly. I have my access blocked. We have a box elder in front of me when I'm getting up here. And I'm coming up to this stand. So let's say this stand, this redneck blind, I wanted to hunt here in the morning for whatever reason. I'm getting intel. So I get to this point right here, I'm completely blocked from the field. In fact, we have switchgrass out here that it's end of June. That switchgrass is going to be 6 to 7 feet high by the end of summer. So after the switch grows up, this is completely blocked coming in here. You know how I mess it all up? You know, I'll start climbing up this blind right here. And let's say I can get up here. And usually these rednecks are very quiet when we have this secured at the top. So once we secure this right here and we make sure that's not moving, then I can get up here. You know how I mess this all up? So let's say I got to this point quietly, nothing saw me, I snuck in, perfect for a morning sit, and then I turned this light on to actually climb into the stand. And these lights right here are one of the biggest ways that people bust deer. And if I'm using this and I'm getting in here really, really bad, I shine this at the light, Now the deer that are 200 yards out into the ag land, they see me. Let alone the deer that are right here on this hunting plot. Should you use a flashlight getting in and out to a stand? You know, obviously, if you have trouble walking in the woods, if it's a real thick area, completely different. I'm coming out here to an open area. We started discovering in the 80s when we used a flashlight to cross a half-mile ag field to get back to what we called the 5-acre woods, and then the 10-acre woods was behind it. We would spook deer a quarter-mile away. They couldn't see us. They couldn't smell us. It was in the pre-dawn hours, but they could see our flashlight, and they'd blow and blow and blow. And it didn't take very long before we figured out, hey, if we don't use the flashlight, we had mini mag lights at the time, that the deer wouldn't blow all the way across the field because they didn't know we were coming in, they didn't see the light. Flashlights ruined so many hunts. I tell the story about opening day in Wisconsin a few years ago. Deer blowing and running towards me. 400 yards away and across a big valley, someone with a headlamp was getting settled in for their morning hunt on opening day. Looked all over the place, just shining his headlamp all over the place, and deer were running from him. Didn't even know it probably because he's working on his blind. And so I want to caution everyone when they're going out to a stand. I use flashlights, especially back in thick cover. And I want to show you the difference here. Not sponsored by this flashlight company or anything, but I just like it because if you do reviews on flashlights, which I'm kind of a flashlight nerd, then this is it's an Olight, really nice flashlight. They have all kinds of different brands. But what they have is they have what they call Moonlight. Moonlight, when I'm going out to my stand, I'm going to show you guys this. This is what's on there now. Actually, it feels warm on my hand. It is so bright. Terrible. Dylan, don't look at it. But this is very, very bright. And you could add, deer could see that from across the field right now during the daylight. Maybe 1,000 lumens, 1,200, somewhere on there. They have a Moonlight version, which goes down to a half lumen or 1 lumen. So you can still see the light on my palm. It's just enough in the dark to actually see sticks, branches that you're walking on. And even then, I still keep the light right down in the ground when I'm in the woods. There's no need to be going like this all over the place. Now, people talk about filters. Red, green, deer can't see in different shades. I have yet to hear of a flashlight or find a flashlight where you could shine it anywhere you want and it's bright and deer can't see it. I've had green, I've had red. Look at the infrared bulbs on a camera. If you have infrared glowing bulbs on a digital camera at night, deer see them. And when it's on video, it's even worse because those lights just stay on the entire time and deer can see them. They look right at it. They wouldn't look at that camera during any other time. They wouldn't notice it at night other than they're looking right at those lights. They can't smell it, they can't see it. They see it because of the lights. So even when we're going out with our quiet cats in the morning, we're using no light. We're going out across the ag fields. We do go slower. Dylan can't stand it. We've both ended up in the corn before.
This guy's a maniac. All the night, ripping across fields.
Okay, I wait for Dylan to catch up sometimes. I do probably go faster, but he has camera gear. I just have a bow or a weapon. Not a big deal. So, but bottom line is I know the roads a little bit better. So, and that's the point. I mean, obviously, if you need light, you have to use light. And that's when I love like a Moonlight option. Again, this one, you just hold it down and Moonlight comes on. 2 clicks and it gets really bright really fast. That's the highest it goes. I'll use that Moonlight though, and I'll point it straight down to the ground again. Just holding it on, comes on, and that's how I'll use to walk in and out. I don't use the red lens, green lens because I can't see as well. You know, I'd rather have just a normal light. And what I find is when I'm shining something very light just down on the ground, and this went with my mini mag light days. Back in those days I had it. I actually would take my thumb like this, and let's say we'll just go this on maybe setting 2, like in the middle. That's not the brightest, but it's in the middle. I'd put my thumb over it like this, and I'd just let a little light out, just on the bottom on the trail, so that I could just let a sliver out. Now they have these newfangled lights where, again, you can just hold it down and it clicks right onto the Moonlight. But bottom line is that's enough to see your way in. In the woods, I don't worry about it too much because that light's not going to get out. Out in these open fields, terrible. If we're ripping across there, dead quiet, scent-free and quiet cats with the wind in our face, but then we use these big headlamps and headlights to get to a stand, we spook out the entire field. We would spook out hundreds of acres at one time doing so. Rest assured. Let alone if I take the risk. Let's say it's opening day of gun and I'm seeing a big buck come through here. We have a mock scrape right over here with a reveal on it. Let's say we have a giant coming through here, coming off fields in the morning. I want to take a chance. My wind's blowing back this way on my approach. I think everything's perfect. I sneak in through here, walk in from that direction over there, go through the switchgrass, stay low, get behind the brush, get into the stand, and right when I'm getting in, I turn the light on. And we even have lights inside the redneck, and you know what? They're blue light, but we've had deer blow and snort from a quarter mile away when you turn those lights on. Imagine you're waiting for someone to get out of the blind over here. You can see the light come on in the blind, whether it's a flashlight or the lights that come with it with the LED. And this deer over here is blowing at them and running because they see that light turn on and instantly they run. That's what can mess up a lot of hunts. I think before a hunt even starts, opening day of gun season, your favorite rut hunt, your rutcation, you go out to the stand for the first time, using that light and clearing all the deer out of the area before you even get there. Whether you have a green lens on it, a blue lens, a red lens, whatever color there is, be very, very wary using flashlights. Again, in the woods, I try to keep it as light as possible, meaning as little light as possible. Moonlight is awesome. But again, I can wreck this entire hunt before my opening day even begins legally within legal shooting light by using a flashlight to get into that blind, especially when I'm working around inside the blind. Get in a little bit earlier, take your time getting stuff ready, really considering dimming down your lights when you go hunting this fall for a better hunt this year and beyond. Hey folks, I really appreciate you watching, and I want to invite you to check out our main website, whitetailhabitatsolutions.com. I'm going to miss all these, but we have seed to offer, hats, articles, web classes, books, consultations, and even a new podcast. I think we have 17 podcasts out there right now for you to listen to. So we have a lot to offer. Most of all, if you don't want to buy anything, I'm going to keep offering free videos, free articles. We have over 600 articles on the site. And most of all, thank you very much for watching, reading, listening, being a part of Whitetail Habitat Solutions. If you want to check this stuff out, awesome. Links are in the description.